Go further with the American Express Business Gold Card. Earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels when you book through AmexTravel.com. Whether your destination is a business conference or a client meeting, your purchases will help you earn more points for future trips. Experience more on your travels with Amex Business Gold. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
Walmart Business is in the business of helping your business. Regardless of whether you're building bridges, building spreadsheets, or building lesson plans. Ooh, that looks fun. Walmart Business can help save you time, money, and hassle so you can focus on what you're building instead of what your supply closet is missing. In short, we take care of business so you can do more with yours. We're the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.
I'm Jessica Valant. I'm a physical therapist, women's health expert, and Pilates teacher, and my goal is to help all women feel strong, safe, and secure in their bodies. In this podcast, I'll share expert advice, facts, amazing guests, stories, compassion, and hope to help you meet your body in all seasons of life. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Meet Your Body and one of our special shorter connections episodes where we just chat like we were hanging out, going for a walk, having coffee. And this is what I would be talking to you about right now. This is a love letter to middle school age children. Now, this comes for anyone out there who is exposed to kids in any way, shape, or form. This might be for parents. This might be for grandparents, for teachers, for educators, for neighbors, for just people who happen to be shopping and they're close to kids at the mall or at the grocery store. I hear, it is a common message that middle schoolers are the worst, right? We all hear that. We hear it all over the place. Middle school is so hard. Middle school is the hardest. Middle school kids are so selfish or have such bad manners. It's such a hard time. I am here to tell you that middle school kids can also be utterly delightful. I have heard in every stage of my kid's age how hard it is, right? How hard newborn stage is, the terrible twos, how horrible preschool age is. Everybody likes to say, oh, just you wait. And I'm sure there's people out there thinking right now, oh, just you wait till those teenage years. Yes, every stage is hard of life. Every stage of life can be hard. And every stage of being a parent absolutely can be hard. And I have only been through a piece of it. All right, I have school age kids, so I have been through a few stages. But we always hear how the next one is just going to be so hard, and that saying of just you wait, that saying isn't helpful to anyone. When you say, oh, just you wait with that tone, what you're doing is kind of saying, okay, I had a really hard time and I hope you do too. Don't get too happy because it was awful for me, so I want to make sure you know it's going to be awful for you too. Instead of coming at it from a helpful place of, you know what, that is a hard time, which I can say newborn stage, yeah, you do not sleep. Absolutely not. It can be a really hard time. Really, really hard. I am not saying any of this through rose-colored glasses. Absolutely every stage can be hard. But there's a way to come at it that you're coming at it from a helpful place as opposed to a gloom and doom place. And that's where I really like to have conversations with people. And so that's what this is actually for this podcast, is to come at it from a really, hopefully, helpful place and a perspective that you might not hear very often. So I have an 8-year-old and an almost 13-year-old daughter. So we are in the birthday time. We have a preteen. We almost have a teenager. So I am in the midst of middle school kids. She's in 7th grade. So definitely in the midst of that. And recently I was talking to parents, friends of my sons, and they have a daughter who's 10. So just a little bit older than our sons are, but not to those kind of preteen years yet. And they were asking me about it. And I just went off about how great it is and her friends and how fun it is to have conversations with her about the world and herself and inside jokes. And they said, gosh, what a breath of fresh air to hear you say that. I've been so nervous. Everyone says how horrible middle school is, and I want to hold on to this time as tightly as I can, and I don't want things to change. And how nice to hear you come at it from that perspective. And I thought, more of us need to do that, where we actually can sit down and say, yes, this is realistically what's hard. And also, it's going great. And also we can do this. And also, you can stay really close to your kids. And also, you can support your neighbors and your grandkids and just the kids down the street. You can come at them from a place of openness and curiosity about their lives instead of, oh gosh, there goes those middle schoolers again. So I just want to talk for a minute about middle schoolers and about what they're going through. So not only do I have one, but I go and I volunteer in the school. I love to be in the school. I really love to be the parent that can, drive the kids around. So I have had the absolute privilege of having a sleepover recently at our house with our daughter and a couple of her friends. My husband helps coach our daughter's volleyball team, so he's around these preteen and early teen girls quite a bit. So we're kind of immersed in that. And I have to say, these kids are resilient. They are hardworking. They are working so hard. This is what I want you to know about them. And I want you to put yourself back in that time. If you're saying, oh, middle school was so hard. Yes. Yes. I'm going to give a big yes. Okay. And I want you to kind of put yourself back in that time and think about why it might have been hard. These kids starting, depending, 6th or 7th grade, right? It just depends on where kind of your middle school, junior high age starts. But typically we are talking about kids maybe 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. That's where we are, that middle grade. Let me tell you what's happening with these kids. First off, they are getting thrown into a world online, and it's not necessarily their choice. With schoolwork, they are on the computer all day long. They are asked to suddenly be in charge of their own emails with their teachers, so they're learning how to communicate with adults. They're learning how to search for things online. They're suddenly just in this online world. They have access to information, and it's asked from school to do that. Okay. Second, a lot of times, and I will say this can be a whole other podcast, our kids and our daughter do not have access to social media whatsoever, and they will not for many years. We have boundaries around that. I believe strongly in limiting and possibly just no social media at all for kids. But you really can't cut off computer access whatsoever at this age. And so they have accessibility to that. They're learning about the world as a whole. They're learning about news, right? Current events and news. And imagine how we're handling that right now. Okay. What's going on in the world? They're getting it from school. They're hearing about it from their friends. And then they come home and ask, because as parents, we don't want to tell them about it because we're trying to protect them, but they hear about it anyway. So they have thoughts swirling around. Like, are we really at war? What's actually going on? They're learning about events from our past. Our daughter not only knows about current events, but she's now learning, really for the first time, doing a deep dive into World War II, into Nazi Germany, into the Holocaust. So she's coming home with a lot of questions around that. So they're learning about hard things in humanity that they haven't really been exposed deeply to before. Not only that, they are in changing bodies. Like, do you remember that? Do you remember what it's like to have your body change so quickly? growth spurts, or maybe no growth spurt, but everyone else is growing, so you're self-conscious about being really short. Maybe you're going through puberty, maybe you aren't. Maybe you're starting your period, maybe you aren't, but everybody else is. Maybe if you're a boy, you're having acne for the first time, or your voice is starting to change. They are going through so many body changes, not to mention, again, this exposure now to media and everything around them, making them wonder, is my body okay? Is it okay that I'm going through these changes? I don't know what's happening. I'm really uncomfortable in my body. And they suddenly have a lot of self-awareness. They're trying to figure out where they fit in the world as a whole and in their social circles. So it's the first time they have a lot of awareness about friends groups and about what that looks like and the hierarchy that can happen with friend groups.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
It's a lot. And then when I talk about how hard they work, they really are. So they go to school all day, which can be exhausting. They're in after school activities, right? They might have homework. I mean, we have nights that our daughter has activities until a certain amount of time. She has to come home and do homework. And we are a family that actually tries to limit that as much as we can. And we are still immersed in it. And then they need a lot of sleep that they don't necessarily get because they have to wake up early for school. And so we say, oh gosh, they just have these bad attitudes when they get home from school. But also, I'm always remembering, okay, they woke up from an alarm at our house at 6:20 a.m. that we have to get up for an early school start. It's a 6:20 a.m. alarm, up, get ready, eat. We're in the car. They start school at a certain time, and they're asked to sit in their desk, do their activities, go through all of these social things like I mentioned, try to learn social cues, try to learn 9th grade algebra. Like, do you want to do that again? I don't. They're asked to do that. Then to, check their own email on their own. They're asked to go in early and figure out if they need extra help. They're asked to do all of this because they're young adults. We're teaching them to be young adults. We want that. But they're asked to do all that. And at 3:30, they get in the car and they're kind of sullen and tired and don't want to answer questions. You know what? Me too. Like, same, honey. I'd be tired too. I try to remember that because, I see her and I want to be like, how was your day? Tell me everything. And when she comes back a little sullen or tired, I have to remember that's a normal response to a day like she just had. Like, I can just sit and be there for her. I can be her safe place to land. I can give her 30 minutes to just listen to her favorite music in the car with her mom, like in a safe place to decompress. And I know she'll talk to me about it later. And these kids, when you hear them, when I see them together, when I go to class, I do career days at the middle school, they ask such interesting questions. When we have the girls together, like for these sleepovers, they're doing karaoke, they're making music videos together. And I know this isn't all kids, I know that. I just want to open your eyes to what these kids are experiencing, how they're learning their place in the world, and that maybe we as a community can give them some support and some grace, some place to let them still be a kid, because they're still silly and they're still fun and they still want to be a kid, and they're also being asked to be a grown-up. They're also being asked to figure out their place in the world. And I think there are things that we can do as parents, grandparents, community members, educators, administration. There are a lot of things we can do to just help support that. And then also, absolutely, with them figuring out their place in the world, they're going to push boundaries. And I know that because I hear about it. I get messages from school. I know some of the things they're saying at school that are inappropriate. That is where you sit down and have conversations with your kids. And this is where I'm going to just encourage you as a caretaker to take time to know what your kids are watching, know what they are doing. If you give them online access, make sure you know what they're watching. It is absolutely vital that you keep your hand on that pulse. You are still the caregiver, Know what they're watching, know what they're taking in, because I hear what comes out in school, and we have a lot of conversations with our daughter about what's appropriate and what isn't appropriate, and why we have chosen to not let her have social media, why we put boundaries on things, why that's an important piece to us helping to guide her to become a responsible citizen and young adult. All of that is included. Like, we can't let go of control now. I don't mean control. We can't let go of understanding that we still have responsibilities as parents to help them through this time that can be really hard. All right. Like, it is more work in some ways than newborn, like the amount of emotional energy and physical energy we put into it, but it's worth every second. I am telling you, these kids, the relationship we have, like the inside jokes, the fact that she can have adult conversations, that we can share music, it is a beautiful transition in a relationship. Yes, I still miss when my kids were 2 and 3 and they'd fall asleep on my chest. Yes, that's what parenthood is. I think it's always wanting to go back and grab a little bit of that time in the past while also being so proud and so happy about where they are now. I mean, it's all encompassing. So don't lose track as your kids move forward through these kind of middle school years. And yes, I know I have a lot to learn about high school. I'm not saying I know it all. I don't at all. I just know where we are right now. And I want to encourage you, if you're a parent of really young kids, I want to tell you it continues to be amazing. It continues to get better. And if, again, you have middle school kids in your life, I encourage you to be there for them. Be that safe place for them to land. Let them ask you questions. Be open with them and wrap them in love and in grace and in support and in positivity, because that will help us all. I truly believe that. That will help us all. So be present with them in whatever way you can. And that's what I would tell you if we were on a walk right now, is how absolutely proud I am to be the mom of this amazing, growing, learning, vital, almost teenager. And thank you for all of you out there who have been parents and have forged this path ahead of me to help me learn and continue to learn. We all need it. I believe it takes a village. So I encourage you to be that village, and I also thank you for being that village. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for listening today. I would love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It means a lot to us, and it helps our content get out to more women who need it. You can find more of my resources at my website, jessicavalant.com, or find me on YouTube at Jessica Valant and Instagram at Jessica S. Valant.